Hello and welcome to Funny Science Fiction, the live edition. That's right. Welcome to Funny Science Fiction Podcast, the live edition.
Yes, this is the podcast where Yoda will never say, "We are the last hope."
Don't you mean the last hope we are?
If you've gotten this far, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your final hope, you're just...
And before we jump in, hold on, Nick. I know you're all excited to get to the videos and stuff, but I just want to say formally, welcome back to Josh. Josh is one of the founding co-hosts and members of the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. We are so excited to have him back with us tonight. I'm going to assume that this is Casey, because usually it's Casey. Hello, amazing people. So
let's let Kathleen go to Facebook and see who it is this time.
Happy Monday, nerds and nerdettes. All right, Nick, do what you were going to do before I so rudely interrupted you.
And before we get into tonight's show, we need to say thanks to our show partners, River City Teas and Level Up.
All right, and first up is our dear, sweet friend over at River City Teas.
With over 700 designs to choose from, River City Teas has something for everyone. Need some new nerd merch? River City Teas has you covered. Need funny or sarcastic designs? River City Teas has you covered. Are you looking for a new logo or custom design? Whether you need 1 or 100, River City Teas has you covered. With multiple colors and options for each and every design. With things to choose from like shirts, hoodies, phone cases, coffee mugs, and so much more. Be sure to follow River City Teas on Facebook and Instagram. If you do, you'll get the latest on designs and information about upcoming sales. River City Teas. Let's make a shirt together.
All right, so that was our first show sponsor. We always go with that one first because the second one is our favorite! Level Up. As I was saying, level up lightsabers before Tim interrupted me.
Well, you paused for more than half a second. It's not my fault. You took a breath. I hit the play button.
And your twitchy finger over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Know.
I was going to say Josh should be our honorary this time.
Should be a what?
You know, from the first video, the music. Josh is our honorary agent.
Right now, you look more like an old kung fu movie because your lips are moving, and then a couple seconds later, I hear the audio. It's like, Josh is our honorary geisha.
Did I tell you that I tried out for the new Godzilla movie?
Oh, boy.
Well done.
All right. Oh, nice.
All right, so links for both of those in the show comments.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Gosh, Tim! You're the one who writes the stinking script, and then you're not even paying any attention to it.
Oh, actually, maybe. Anyway, so tonight
I might be incredibly correct over here.
Yeah, possible. We have a bonus video to help us get introduced to one of our guests that's waiting back in the virtual green room.
If he's still here, it hasn't went for the hills.
If he's still here, if we haven't scared him away yet. It'll give you a chance to be introduced to a nice gentleman named Robert, who's very patiently waiting for me to show this video, which is of a group of science fiction podcasts that have banded together on Twitter. We're working together to help promote one another, and this project is called This is Sci-Fi.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorats.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.
So yeah, so it's just a cool little thing. Please go check out all the shows that are listed there. when you watch the playback, a good group of guys. You're going to be really happy that you've had an opportunity to get to know them. But with that being said, who's in the green room?
Tonight, we welcome two podcasters to our live show. Robert from SciFi Remnant.
Hey, Robert.
Hello, everybody. This is going to be fun.
It is.
This is going to be fun.
We will check back
It's going to be
in
something.
55
Yeah.
minutes.
Let us know at 8 o'clock if you're still feeling the same way. But right now, I'm glad you feel that way.
All right, let's not leave our other friend back there too much longer.
And we also have Jason Taylor from the Three Geeks Podcast.
We'll just leave him back there. He'll be fine. He'll be
He'll
fine.
just show up in the comments anyway.
He'll show up in the comments. We'll be there.
There he is.
Jay,
Hello, I am
love you.
honored to be on this program. Tim is a very handsome man and one of the greatest hosts of podcasts. And he is also, wait, Tim, what's this word on the script I'm supposed to read here? I'm sorry.
You're using too big of the language for the Ohio guy. Come on, Tim.
All right. So before we jump into tonight's topic, Robert, take a moment, tell everybody where they can find your show and why they should give you a listen and a subscription.
Well, we like to talk about sci-fi, but not in the traditional way. And I don't know if you have not listened to our show, we like to get really deep into the topics inside the properties. So we finished season 1, so you can go binge that. We're actually working on season 2 right now, and you can find us on SciFi Remnant everywhere, Twitter and Instagram.
Perfect. Excellent. Jason, do the same for Three Geeks.
Yesterday, we actually had Nick on, and we spent 10 minutes talking about mustaches in Hollywood. It was a lot of fun. Also had Leah Jones, and we had Kristen Farmer from the Don't Mess with the Original Podcast. Don't Mess with the Original Podcast, the horror podcast. Check it out. Yesterday's show, Three Geeks Podcast at Three Geeks Podcast.
And if you don't know who Leah Jones, he plays Eden from Lock and Key.
Yes, and Tim asked a question so nerdy that she had to reach out to the showrunners, and it was a fantastic question. Kudos to you, Nick. Because people,
Nick,
I appreciate you giving me the chops for it, but that was purely a Nick question.
Whoever he is, whichever one of you.
But no,
it
it
is.
actually
meant
was
Nick.
a really cool question. It
I
was a
meant Nick.
really cool question that Nick asked. I went back and I missed your guys' live broadcast, but I went back and watched the replay. It was a really good show you guys had yesterday, and I encourage everybody to check it out. Nice interview, and it's always kind of cool when you can ask a question of a guest and you can just kind of see their head go, which is
A Facebook user who does have a name.
Well, one of them does.
So there's I think that we have multiples.
I do, and I'm trying to scroll through Facebook and find all the spots where this is shared. Where I'm
We
like,
have-
wait, where's the? I can't find them.
We have multiple bogeys in the field. All right, so for tonight, the topic on hand is we've each picked a sci-fi, fantasy, or superhero themed show that we feel is worthy of your watch, worthy of your time to sit down and view whenever you have a few moments. So we're each going to tell you where you can find it and why we think you should be watching it. So please feel free to comment along in the comments and tell us what you like about our picks. Tell us if you don't like our picks. That's fine too. And if you have other choices that you think would have been good or a show that you're watching that you think everybody should be paying attention to, let us know. We'll throw it up on the screen, and we'll probably talk about that as well. But since Nick is so excited about this topic, I mean, like he was talking over top of all of us back in the green room. He was that excited. So tonight we're going to have Nick lead off. Tell us what show you're watching, Nick, and where we can find it and why we should be watching it.
All right, so season 3 just dropped this last Wednesday, and it is Lost in Space, the Netflix series. And I really love this show because it gives you the adventure, like the space adventure that in a show. It is sitting on the edge of your seat kind of. So, like I've seen the older ones, I've seen the movie, and I feel like they've done that series justice. And I like how they modernized it. I really love the twist that they threw in there and all the different angles that they have put into the show. and they've really done a good job. Like, oh, that's not going to happen, kind of thing. But be like, no, these are things that could happen if we did X. But
oh, you're done.
that's all
Okay.
I have. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow, you were so excited, and then
I'm just over here. I'm like, okay.
Shows.
Yep.
I don't want to tell you all the details of this person did this and this person did that because I don't want to ruin too much without. But on my recommendation, I would say go watch.
you heard
Okay.
the mustache.
It is a good show. I agree with Nick.
The stash has spoken.
Yes.
All right. So cool. So Lost in Space. All right. And that's Netflix, right?
Yes.
See,
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Cool beans. Kathleen,
Hello.
what you got?
I have a fabulous show that you can watch on Paramount Plus called Star Trek Lower Decks.
oh, it's so fun.
I
It
love that show.
is absolutely hilarious. I actually had only caught little snippets here and there because my husband had been watching it, and I came back from finally getting our kid to sleep for a minute, and he's watching it, and I seriously stood in the doorway watching with the, what is this? This isn't Rick and Morty. No, this is Star Trek. Oh, this is Star Trek. So I watched the first episode by myself today, and I love it. It is definitely Rick and Morty meets Star Trek.
Some of the same
There is
writer.
nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Similar animation style. It's a lot of fun. And I thought it was cool too that this is the 9th Star Trek series from Alec Kurtzman's expanded Star Trek universe, and the first to be animated. And yes, Lower Decks is basically Orville meeting Custodians of the Cosmos.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
book.
if you're wondering what Custodians of the Cosmos is, it's a fantabulous book written by our group founder, Drayton Allen.
I found it. It's what I put on top of the power button so my cat doesn't turn my computer off. I mean, it's a fantastic book, and everybody should read it.
Well, it's a great book. It's a perfect paperweight. Thank you so much, Drayton.
It's just protects computer buttons from cat paws.
In case you missed it earlier, Drayton is watching. He knows
Yep.
the second comments he just made.
That's all right.
Your comments shall be stricken from the record.
I have other shows I can go to, right? Maybe.
And I'm sure Cale Butterly truly appreciate your usage of the book.
I haven't used it to squish any spiders yet.
Yet.
I appreciated the Shatner pause you put into that, Nick. That was good. The usage of the book. All right. Well,
It's not just sitting on my desk
he's
collecting
agreeing
dust.
with you, though.
Oh,
It
that's
does
good.
have multiple uses.
It's not just sitting collecting dust. So there's that.
Your heinous comments will be re-added to the record.
Woo! I still have a job.
You're going to have to work a lot harder than that to get fired.
No, I've got
All right.
up other things, and I'm still here. So
All right, so cool. Yeah, honestly, I have not watched Lower Decks yet.
do it.
Do it.
Mostly
Do it.
because it's Star Trek.
For a
Well-
second, I thought we were still lost. We were still on Lost in Space.
You know what
No.
I can say about that is, and I think why the appeal to that show is the first time you see the other characters on Star Trek that we never get to see, and that's what drawn me into this show. It was amazing.
Yeah, it is. And when they bring in some of the legacy characters, like Riker is a part of the series towards the
Yeah.
end of season 1 and season 2.
I even just at the end of episode 1 when they're talking about do you know about Spock? Do you know about Kirk? Do you know about Deanna Troi? And I'm like, ooh, yay.
The Muffin Man, who lives on Drury Lane.
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
I hope in future episodes they end up on Voyager, and they talk about Harry Kim and he's forgotten.
Oh, yeah.
Is he still an ensign in future episodes? Hasn't been advanced? No promotions?
Yeah, he's an ensign all the way through.
And you know what's funny is honestly, I don't even know what episode John was watching the other night when I walked in, but they were in the med bay and the cyborg character is showing his terrible bedside manner. And I was laughing so hard that I'm like, no, this wins. This wins. This is great. With the, what do you should be dead. Well, you can't tell him that. Well, if your heart rate spikes that much higher, you're really gonna be dead. It's like, this is great. I mean, it's not, but
Nice.
it is. But I laugh.
So
at
humorous in
people's pain.
content.
I laugh
Okay.
at people's pain.
So John Wass, who happens to be Kathleen's husband, says Trek has some of the best social commentary in recent decades.
Mhm.
I will take your word for that. So,
There was even in the first episode a Star Wars nod, which made me happy.
Well, they're done by the same guy, so it's practically the same universe at this point.
But they were in the holodeck and they were talking about sand, and he's like, "But I don't like sand; it's coarse."
So, I totally believe Star Trek and Star Wars are in the same universe because a lot of their ship jargon it's a lot of the same jargon. And
Jargon.
the farthest Star Wars has ever made it was the Delta Quadrant. Star Wars is in a galaxy far, far, far. So,
And a long, long time ago. So who knows?
yeah, but there's no Earth in Star Wars universe. That's the biggest.
That's just because
difference.
they're on the other side of the universe. They haven't made it that far yet.
Yeah,
yeah,
that we know
they don't
of.
know if Earth exists.
But there is a comic book where Indiana Jones discovers the body of Han Solo and Chewbacca.
There you go.
That's a great thing about multiverses.
Yeah.
Everything can be linked.
With Star Wars, Star Trek multiverse would just be confusing and fun.
All the same universe, including Dune.
Yes.
Nick has a long running theory on Dune and Star Wars and Tatooine and Arrakis. And
Litter boxes.
Arrakis is Tatooine.
yeah, I can honestly. The more I watch, because I went back and I've watched not the '84 Dune because I don't hate myself that much, but
He's gone to therapy enough that he doesn't hate himself that much.
I mean, a year or two ago, I totally would have punished myself with '84 Dune, but I'm better now.
I'm so proud of you.
I've made progress, but I have
Step
watched
away from the
the
self-love.
2021 version a couple times, and honestly, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, God dang it, Nick's right.
Wait, you've watched it? You've watched the 2020 version more than once?
A couple, I think 3 times actually. I really enjoy the movie.
Whoa!
Yeah, I think I
Well, the
watched
only-
it 3 times.
I have only watched the old Dune, and the only thing I remember is the little hunter seeker things that like sense movement. Do you remember those things?
I didn't make it
Yeah.
that far into
Okay, I've had multiple nightmares about that as a child. So yeah, that's what I
Yes.
remember.
it. And again tonight.
Yeah,
Well, they're
right?
definitely in the new one as well.
Oh, great.
So
Josh,
I haven't seen the new one. I'm sorry.
I gave you my login so you could watch it. I haven't watched
You know,
He
Nick.
has 2 small people.
how
gonna say.
how dare you have a life in small children?
How dare I? I know.
Maybe read the book. Is
That
there an
takes
audio
way more
version?
time.
If there's an Audible version, I'm all about it. I do enjoy listening to
Is
books.
there a
as I
Reader's
drive.
Digest condensed version?
It's read by Sting. Does that help?
Read by Sting. Nice.
That would be awesome.
Actually, that would be really cool, and that would definitely get me to read the book.
I can't
I
read
don't
the
know if
book.
it's
It would
true or
spoil the movie for me.
Man, I can't wait till AI gets so good that like it can just read in any voice, any famous person's voice, just so realistically. That'll be great.
Oh, and by the way, it is on Audible.
Hey,
Oh, really?
Perfect.
All right. Well, I'll check that out.
look at that.
I got
Somebody
a-
with the
I got a
internet at their
couple book credits.
fingertips.
You're slacking, Kathleen. That's usually your job.
I was too busy playing with Mood Dragon. Sorry.
All right, Jason, what you got?
I am coming with a show from the Sci-Fi Channel that I cannot talk about enough because I'm shocked that it was as good as it was. I'm shocked that it was good, let alone as good as it was. I am talking about the Chucky series that was recently on the Sci-Fi Network in USA. This show is something. Like, if you were at all a fan of the Child's Play franchise coming up, And in a world where we live in, where everybody likes to just go back to the originals and skip all the in-between movies, this movie does not. It embraces everything that happened before. We meet Jake Wheeler, who is a kid trying to find his sexuality and trying to find his way in the world. Him and Chucky become buddies because for some reason in this series, Chucky is trying to corrupt an innocent child to become a killer. He wants to see if he can do it. And just the whole process of the show and introducing, Andy Barclay from the original 2 movies is back. His sister from the second movie is back. Jennifer Tilly is back. This show is fun and great and at times scary. I can't say enough about the young cast. The young cast is fantastic.
I'm only confused by these small demonic doll trying to kill you as being fun, but
Have you seen Child's Play?
yes.
Yeah, Chucky has a sense of humor. Brad Dourif does a fantastic job, but the standout in this show is Brad Dourif's daughter. What's her name? Fiona Dourif. She is one of the best actresses I have ever seen. She plays her dad in the flashback sequences, and she looks like an identical version of him. It is amazing. She's got the Chucky voice down. Like, she is really good in this show. I hope that she gets nominated for stuff. I'm sure she won't because cable stuff gets overlooked. But if you guys are looking for something scary with a little mixture of comedy, this is the show for you. If you're a fan of the franchise, if you weren't, my girlfriend doesn't like horror. She loved this show, and now she's getting into horror. She's recently discovered a lot of different avenues, and she's going back to watch all the movies because she's never seen them. And this show is for you. Check it out. It's one of the best things on TV right now, and I cannot believe I'm saying that about a show about Chucky, but it is. It's really, 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 really good. It's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you guys know I'm not crazy. This show is fantastic. It's now on Peacock for everybody to stream.
Tim's like, you're not crazy.
I know you're not clinically crazy, but still.
We can't know that. His medical records are not available for us.
My mom had me tested.
We don't know if
fine.
he's clinically crazy.
My mom had me tested.
That's from Big Bang. That's not an original.
No, I know. And that's why I found
I will say a lot of shows that are switching over to episodical shows, the writing has gotten amazingly better.
Yeah. Don Mancini is just a great character, and Chucky finds a way to relate with Jake because Jake. We find out Jake's a gay kid. He meets a little boyfriend. It's fantastic, and we find out Chucky relates to him because Chucky has a gender neutral child, and it's just the way Chucky uses that to kind of warp this child. It's a fantastic series. You guys should really check it out.
Okay,
I'm not getting paid. I don't have a sponsorship from Chucky the series or anything.
So it's currently on Sci-Fi, but you can also watch it on Peacock, you said?
Yes, and my cousin's boyfriend is in it, but it has nothing to do with that I'm.
Oh, and there comes the rating. Okay.
She messaged me and goes, "What'd you think?" And I'm like, "I think that I'm glad I don't have to lie to you because the show is actually."
But I'm gonna lie to you anyway. So.
So John brought up another show that I've also been enjoying. Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. Even though it's marketed towards kids, writing in that, amazing.
You're a kid at heart. It's okay.
It is. That too. I watch all sorts of cartoons, but
all those cartoons are fabulous. I get it.
They are. It's slightly cheap, maybe. And but that show, it takes place right after Jurassic World. Or it starts at Jurassic World, and it tells a story of some kids who won a VIP camping trip to Jurassic. And they ended up getting stranded on the island when everybody evacuated.
Right.
Is it better than Fallen Kingdom?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
It's better than Dune. No, we just started watching season 4 of Camp Cretaceous, and it is really good. And yes, it's a kids show. It's intense for a kids show. It's got good Jurassic Park jump scares. But
I think they're still filming season 2 of Resident Alien. I don't think that's so.
They're saying 2022 is what sometime in 2022.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
that's
coming
what I
back,
thought,
but
so.
still in production.
Okay. What?
Nothing at all.
We're
No,
just
I'm
all
trying to
being-
do some research over here, but yeah, that's what I could find. Same thing Nick found. So yeah, 2022 I think is when that's going to come back. I haven't watched Camp Cretaceous. Is that how you pronounce it? Cretaceous. Yeah, I have not watched that yet. I started watching it the other day when I was trying to figure out what to watch, and you guys said that was one of the shows that you had been watching, and I was like, well, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll watch it, and I watched a couple seconds of it, and then yeah, I was just. I was like, oh. And then we changed topics. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to watch this other show because that's the one I'm going to want to talk about.
I mean, it's a big thing in my house because my daughter loves dinosaurs. I mean,
Right.
Everything dinosaur related is going to happen here. But it's fabulous.
Drayton. Yeah, I wish I had a machine to find out information like you kids today.
If only you
I
were
will make-
literally holding it in your hand.
You know what's funny?
About your abacus.
It is our father introduced us to machines, or these machines. Like, we had one of the first home ones where you had to actually code in your games with the giant file, the giant.
Are you having a
I don't even know what they're
stroke?
called.
No, just as internet connection is. All right, Robert, tell us about your series. What you've been watching and why we should watch it.
I feel Altered Carbon is not getting a lot of love, and that why I like it so much is because cyberpunk is a branch of sci-fi that hasn't gotten. It has a following, obviously, after the Blade Runner, and there's so many other things. There's some books out there too. It picked up on the 80s, but this show is just cyberpunk on steroids, and it's just completely amazing how. And I don't know if you guys are into cyberpunk, but you guys should watch it. It's just amazing, and the physical, the dilemmas, the ethical dilemmas. It is a really deep show, really deep show. I don't know. Have you guys seen that show before?
I have
Heard
not.
of it.
No.
I have not. I've heard of it, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting."
It is on Netflix, and basically what it is like this is in a far future where you're able to copy your consciousness into a stack, and then that basically your consciousness is there, so you can physically go into a store and pick up the body you want. So you want to be 5 foot tall, you want to be 7 foot tall, you want to have muscles, you want to be lean. And then basically what it is they take your stack and then install it in the new body, and there you go. So dilemmas like, for example, medical treatment is no longer, it's something that it falls behind, because if someone shoots you, you just get in a new body. So there's a lot of deep questions in that, and I love that show.
My first question is, how much does that cost?
I'm sorry?
How much does that cost?
Yep. Corporations.
I'm
honestly, there is a
like-
scene that I was really sad. There was it was a little girl. She was a victim of a crime. It was a horrible crime. She got killed. The parents didn't have enough money, so they installed it in whatever body was available, and it was an old lady, and I was in tears when I see this old lady saying, "Mom, Dad," and they recognized their daughter, and it was because they didn't have the money. Whatever body was available, that was it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask how they got it, how you could get a discount or something like that. Like, I was curious about the manufacturing. Like, can I get like there's lots of companies nowadays taking advantage of like misprints or whatever, or misprint toys and things like that. I'm just like, can I get like a misprint body? I'm low on cash.
Do you want one or do you already have one?
Right. Exactly.
I just need an upgrade to a different misprint body.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that either. So, Josh, tell us about your show.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, I just want to say one thing about Altered Carbon. So I was looking that up real quick. I didn't realize that this was the show that had Anthony Mackie in it. And
season 2.
Yeah. It's also got Hiro Kanagawa on it. This has got a huge cast in it. James Purfoy is in it. Will Yun Lee is in it. I mean, this is a really strong cast. And it looks to me like this is a Netflix show.
Is a Netflix show? Yeah, it's still there.
Okay, yeah, this is one of the ones that was on my list, and I had to check out, but I haven't watched it yet. So
the marketing was amazing, and I think it was and I remember this in 2018. They was it E3? Can't remember if it was E3. It was whatever you have, like Sony and all the big corporations, showing all your, like the new products or the products they have in, ready for concept products and stuff like that. So it was really confusing to me because at the beginning of the video, obviously, they had, Sony and they have all the stuff, and then they have Psychosec, and they have a booth for that. And then there's a person in front. They were kind of like telling all the people that were walking by, so like, come on, coming into Psychosec, and we have a new experience for you. So basically this lady, like if an actual real company providing an actual real product was saying, we can download your consciousness into this little stack, and she had the little stack on it. And then she showed the catalog where you can actually find, you can choose the bodies. And once the person that was shooting the video walked inside that booth, they had like a demonstration body inside a plastic bag, a female and a male, just to show you how. And I remember seeing people scratching their heads. It's like, what the heck is this? And then across the street from the event, they had people doing, they had like pamphlets out saying like Psychosec is the devil, so they went all out, and it was incredible. This is prior to the show being released. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that before.
No, I didn't, but that kind of makes it a little bit better. So, yeah, it seems really cool. That's definitely one I wanted to check out. And now that I realize that this is the one that I wanted to watch with Anthony Mackie in it, aka Falcon / Captain America, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing that one. So that might be next on my list. All right, Robert, good pick.
Very good.
All right, Josh, bring the fire. What you got, buddy?
All right. I can't really say enough about Arcane from Netflix, the series based on League of Legends. Oh my gosh. So I used to play League of Legends as a teenager growing up and stuff. Went back when I had time to play an hour game that you cannot quit for any reason. Man, I was so curious how they were going to bring all of these extremely eclectic characters together into one show. I was like, how are they going to do this? Because here you have like this, because the art styles of all the different characters are even a bit different sometimes. They all have a pretty similar theme, but some are a little out there. And I'm like, how are they going to do this? This is so strange. And I've been so impressed thus far with how they really just meshed that world right together and how they're continuing to do it. And it hasn't even scratched the surface. It's just so like, it is by far the most beautifully animated series I've seen. The animation is gorgeous. I was just baffled completely. I'm like, I can't believe this is like that good. So yeah, and it was just something that I really like. It makes you laugh and it makes you cry. I mean, it is literally just that full range of emotions as well. People who like steampunk and those things like that too, they're going to really relate to this series, this season that just came out. I hear they have plans of like just really expanding this world out, more and more. And it would to all the different characters in their world. I tell you, I am. It's pretty whack. It is just. It's such a good series.
It moves to the top of movies of video games into TV. Originally, it was like Sonic the Hedgehog for me because I thought they did a pretty good job with that personally, but.
Sonic was great, Nick. Don't let anybody tell you differently. That mustache is also fantastic on Dr. Robotnik.
And then there was the Mario Brothers movie. So, I mean,
That's
Mario
a
Brothers
different
movie
end of the
was...
spectrum. Different end of the spectrum. That's painful. But Dylan Terry, a good buddy of ours from the Some Nobodies podcast, he absolutely agrees with you there, Josh. He says Arcane is absolutely fantastic. One of my best watches of 2021.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Some Nobodies is a good show. Strongly recommend everybody check that one out too.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Did I mention Lost in Space?
You did mention Lost in Space. In between your internet seizures, yes, you did mention it.
I think it was something along the lines of show good. Show good.
This show good.
Show good.
Good show. Show good.
The show good was show good.
Nice. All right, so cool. So that's Arcane is also on Netflix. I do know that. I watched a little bit of it on there. I plan on going back and watching it because it's my daughter watched a couple seconds of it and she's like, "Ooh, this looks a little bit like an anime," and she's a big anime fan. Which I still don't get anime. Whatever. That's some people really get into it. Some people really love it. Apparently, bye, Kathleen.
She removed the book. That's what happened. She moved
Yeah.
it to show the camera.
The cat found it. It's done.
The cat had the final say.
Yeah.
You're done. So, apparently, she's had enough of our crap tonight. All right, so let's see. We'll go on to my pick. So I picked a show that I didn't realize it's been out since September. I've only recently started watching it in the last week because in my mind, September was a week ago. And this year has just kind of just flown right by. It's ridiculous.
Wait, it's not September?
It's no, it's not, unfortunately. So I picked a show on Apple TV Plus called The Foundation, which The Foundation is a story written around the Isaac Asimov series of the same name, The Foundation. Now, I didn't watch it start watching it because I'm a huge Isaac Asimov fan. I've never read the Foundation books. I have no basis here. I can't say that, it's like the book, it's not like the book, anything. I don't have anything to draw from. I started watching it because of the writer and the cast. That is what got me into this. So the writer, the creator of the show is David Goyer, which the name of Goyer itself may not mean anything to a lot of people, but if you liked Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, he's the screenwriter. He did all of those. He was also one of the writers of the Blade trilogy. And a few other things. So he's very well versed in sci-fi and superhero shows. He's a very good writer, in my opinion. So I was number one, I was like, oh, okay, I'll pay attention to that. And then the cast itself is really good. There's a fellow named Jared Harris. He was in the TV show Mad Men. He's been in a whole bunch of sci-fi and other things. He's one of those guys that when you see him, you know exactly who he is. I can't really describe him, but Jared Harris is in it. Terrence Mann is in this, and a gentleman by the name of Lee Pace. Lee is Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy, and as soon as he starts talking, all I heard was Ronan, and I'm like, oh. and I had to look him up. But he's also Thranduil, the Elven King from the Hobbit series. Yeah, he's got that deep, dark voice. He uses it very well. You know, kudos to him for having, you know, like the cool, sexy voice that I never got. So, but anyway, that just happened. I said that out loud. And, but so the cool thing about this, it's a saga built about the crumbling of the galactic empire that's written about in this book. And only one person sees that this is happening, and that's Jarrett Harris's character, a professor named Harry Seldon. And he sees that this is happening, and he finds it out because he's a mathematician, and he's the developer of something called psychohistory. And they go in and they find out that this is what's happening, and one other person is able to help corroborate his story. And it's really interesting. I'm only about 3 episodes in.
But of course, the Galactic Empire doesn't like it, so they're like, "Nope."
Yeah. And so they send him off world. They, instead of killing him, they put him into exile and give him a chance to prove or disprove his theories and everything. While at the same time, and there's a lot of things in this that are very Star Wars to me. There's the Galactic Empire. There's instead of the Outer Rim, there's the Outer Reach. There's they talk about warp ships and things, and it kind of reminded me of in Clone Wars, the cartoon, where like Obi-Wan, and even in the movie where Obi-Wan, his ship would attach to the light speed rings, and they hyperspeed rings, excuse me, and they'd grab onto those and go, and it's almost like the same thing. These jump ships would employ the same thing. These are things that would attach to the ship. Anyway, it's really cool. Lee Pace's character is a guy named Brother Days, a genetic clone of a genetic clone of a genetic clone. And that's how the Emperor's family has ruled for thousands of years, like 12,000 years, I think it is. And, this guy, Harry Seldon's predicting it's going to end in 500. It's all going to come crashing down.
I've got to say, the space elevator scenario.
Super cool.
It is. I was like, yep.
Yeah, the cinematography in the show is second to none. It is fantastic. And good to know. Kathleen's not dead yet. She just disappeared from the screen. I'm not dead yet.
Just
the cinematography is exactly. The cinematography is second to none. And like Nick said, a lot of these miniseries that are coming to to TV now, or the streaming centers, the production value, I mean, this is, I remember when I was a kid, if there was a miniseries on TV, if there was 4 episodes of the miniseries, the first 3 were hot garbage, and they packed everything into the 4th episode. It's not like that. So
I love that movie, but it was a
major technology failure, she says.
It's what made us get Nick tested. So.
A paperclip and a light socket later, I was perfectly
He was
fine,
good after that. Yeah.
Nick, we still have room for you on the 3 Geeks podcast, buddy, if you can't take this abuse.
Which, look, Jason can't count. We all know that. There's way more than 3 of them. But, yeah. So anyway, it's a really good show. It's on Apple TV Plus. I believe that's the only place that you can find it as of the moment. And I know that they're making more seasons of this. I can't wait to watch more of it. It's a beautifully done show. That's all I can really say about it. And I strongly recommend everybody go and check out. I think we've had some really good recommendations here. Just to recap, Nick picked Lost in Space, in case you didn't catch that at any point during the show. Good show, Lost in Space.
When you talk about Lost in Space, I missed that.
Dude, don't worry about it. You'll catch it in the replay. We don't have time for him to go back through his rant there.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
It's good. And then before Kathleen so abruptly left us and pretended not to like us anymore, she picked Lower Decks. Jason picked Chucky, which is airing on the SciFi and Peacock networks, I believe he said. And Robert picked Altered Carbon, a really cool show with Anthony Mackie that is also on Netflix. Josh picked Arcane, which is from League of Legends. Did I get that correct? League of Legends? Okay.
It's based off of League of Legends, but it's on Netflix.
Drayton wants to know, what was Nick's recommendation again? What was the good show?
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. That's right. I almost forgot. Okay. But Josh picked Arcane, and then, of course, I picked The Foundation.
If I had taken this literally, one of the sci-fi shows I would have picked was La Brea, because I've been watching that, and I like that show a lot.
Mm-hmm. That has been pretty good, yeah.
I don't think I've watched that yet.
I haven't heard it yet.
Giant sinkhole appears in the middle of Los Angeles.
At the La Brea tar pits.
Yeah, and you go on an adventure from there.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
I will say 3 of our 6 choices all came from Netflix.
Netflix has some really good offerings. They,
My go-to lately has been iTunes, like Apple TV. Like The Foundation is on my list, but everything I've watched on Apple TV has been like super solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next thing that I want to watch on Apple TV when I'm done with The Foundation is that Tom Hanks movie called Finch.
Oh, yes.
I liked it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going to scold me or if you were going to say how good the show was.
I like it more or less than Lost in Space.
Was it a good show or was the show good?
So I was dog sitting when I watched this, and the dog was fixated on the movie the entire time.
You should just write for the marketing people of these shows. The dog loved it. The dog loved it.
What's up, Mick Manhattan? I love that guy.
Mick Manhattan, the scene snob himself. What's up, Mick? And Kathleen tells us she's not going to be back until next week to redeem herself. Hey, better late than never, brother. We're glad to have you.
I didn't call you Mick. Who's more important than me?
But clearly it wasn't me, so we're both here. So must have been Casey.
Yeah.
So must have been Casey. All right. Well, just as a reminder, Robert, remind everybody where they can find you, your shows, and all your awesomeness.
Well, whatever you listen to podcasts, you just type in Science Fiction Remnant. And if you want to follow us, you can go into Twitter, SciFi Remnant, Instagram, follow This Is Sci-Fi hashtag. We're very active there. And if you want to have a conversation about Discord, in addition to This Is Sci-Fi, we have a Discord channel as well.
Perfect. All right. And Jason, please do the same.
You can find the first appearance of the newest member of the Three Geeks Podcast, Nick, on yesterday's episode where we talk to Halia Jones about Lock and Key. Nick asks a fantastic question that stumps her so much she texts her showrunners, gets a text back saying, I got to ask Owen Hill. Now it's going all the way up to the big man because that's how good Nick's question was. And you can find me talking more Chucky on that episode as well.
And if you don't want spoilers, you might want to skip it. But
oh my gosh,
it's not yours. I wouldn't. You're fine.
That's
we'll
true.
See.
It's been out.
I mean, if you don't want to be spoiled on who has the best mustache in Hollywood, then maybe not tune in. But we all know it's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, because I'm not in Hollywood.
We're John Waters.
Mick says that McDonald's is sponsoring the snobs now, and they're bringing back supersizes. And he says, "Sorry, I spelled McDowell's wrong."
Nice.
I think I'd rather be sponsored by McDowell's personally. So, all right. And Kathleen reminds us that no, she won't be back next week. I read that wrong. Next week she will be gone. Next Monday. That is the Wass's 7th wedding anniversary. So. Much marital bliss and kudos and congratulations to the
this
Wass's.
is a compliment, but I'm shocked Kathleen's old enough to have been married for 7 years.
Well, she,
She has a cat.
Anyway, so unless they make the McRib permanent, I don't want it.
Right. Thank you, Drayton. Thank you. We need more
I
people
have
out there
honestly-
supporting the McRib. It's a fantastic sandwich, and we need more McRibs. I'm sorry, we're not supposed to get political. I shouldn't have brought up the McRib.
Comments like that remind me why I keep Jason around.
Well, yeah, because I'm the lead of your fan club, Kathleen.
There you go.
So
All
last
right.
Friday, we were glad to welcome Amber Hollinger from the Funny Science Fiction to the Funny Science Fiction podcast. Amber is a director of animation for Disney and other studios, and she has been involved in shows like Mike Tyson's Mysteries, Onyx Equinox, Stillwater, and is working on the new Dan Povenmire superhero show, Hamster and Gretel.
I was going to play the video, but then somebody else.
You can't get rid of me that easily.
Welcome back.
Oh.
7 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And comments like that is part of the reason I keep you around.
I never made
I
it to
promise
a
I
happy
wasn't a
marriage
child
for 7
bride.
years.
No promises.
I
Okay,
could legally
so-
drink at my wedding. It's okay.
And that
All right, well-
Amber Hollinger video.
Hey, we were doing something.
Oh, it's
Okay.
over.
Hi, I'm Amber Hollinger, and you're listening to Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
I'm so jealous of the guests you guys have been getting lately.
We're just that cool.
So much so that I only text Tim like every 4 guests. Like, oh my God, hook me up with that person's information, please. That is awesome.
Please share.
We've had a good run as of late. I'll say that. We've
It's
had a
just
good run.
getting better.
You got to grind out. I mean, it's fun to, people always think that they're like, that we're doing them a favor when they send us the unknowns, but I love interviewing the unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could be a lot of fun,
Yeah.
especially because they've got some really cool stories about working on coming up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How's that? You get your Commodore 64 working better over there?
Apple IIc.
What kind of chip you got in there?
You got a Dorito?
I was going to say that. I was
Kathleen
going to
doesn't know
say
what
that.
a Commodore 64 is. Like a Nintendo.
I know.
64?
Josh, it's up to you now.
It's up to me.
I
Yeah.
added that earlier before my computer decided to.
She
crap out on me.
wanted you to feel welcomed and loved, and she gave you
I
a
just
bit
didn't want to hear Nick
in
is
the
not-
end there.
something like that.
Oh, the truth came out.
Josh is like, wait, there was a Google document somewhere.
There is? Where?
I could give you the same answer that gets
You-
given here frequently, but I think I'll be nice for a minute.
You can't tell us that we're not a high quality program. We got this under control. Don't worry about it.
Wow, what is up with the copying, pasting, and what just happened to the Google document? Tim?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
On the
Okay. Yeah.
videos!
Okay, I didn't even realize. Like, I'm not used to this, guys. You have to understand, I've been out of the loop for a while. So, you can still find that episode of Funny Science Fiction on our YouTube channel and your favorite audio podcast providers. And remember, your subscription to our YouTube channel is a major help. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe as you watch the videos.
Oh, I'm
So-
really hoping you pronounce it the way it's spelled.
Videos?
The videos.
We have this Google document we all share and stuff to keep us on track. And I forgot what my color was because, because I haven't done this in,
A year.
Well,
It's
how
been
long?
a-
That was
it's
like-
been a hot. it's been
That
That
a
was your
year,
system that you started too.
You
Like-
Yeah,
haven't-
I built
He's
I built this system. I built this.
You
Yeah.
haven't
He's the
been on this
originator
since I have.
of this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know what we can do. We can have a Google document, and we'll just, this is my system, and I'm failing.
John's not wrong. I hate to admit it.
Go back and
He's
watch
not
how many
wrong.
live episodes start with us all staring at the screen going,
Oh crap, we're live.
all right. But this week, Our guest is an accomplished on-screen and voice actor who has over 200 acting credits to his name. You've seen or heard him on shows like Young Sheldon, various Justice League animated shows, Star Wars The Old Republic video game, Star Trek, and more.
Who could it be?
Hi, I'm Larry Cedar, and you are listening to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
So we had a great chat with Larry Cedar. We're really happy to bring him on to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. We talked about his time in the acting business, what it meant to him to be involved in DC projects, Star Wars, Star Trek. So I really don't think this is one that you guys want to miss.
Stargate. He's been in all three of the stars.
That's right. He's got the Star trifecta.
He's a star.
Yeah, he is. And one of my favorite things that he's been involved in is the show Community, which has nothing to do with sci-fi really, but there are some nerd points in that show. And yeah, him plays Chevy Chase's very extremely racist father. I don't think that some of the things that were in that show, I don't think they get away with today, but even though it wasn't that long ago, but it's a pretty good show. Don't worry, Kathleen. Drayton would like to remind you that the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund has your back. You might even be able to get a coffee mug out of it. So don't sleep on this one. Make sure that you tune in Friday morning. I'm a mess already. My eyes are like, it's almost 8 o'clock.
Wait,
We're almost done.
I make a coffee mug like the one I've already.
You know what?
Those.
Okay, you just
We'll get you one Tim didn't drink out of.
Can I get a bigger one? Is the problem?
No.
One.
Can I get a Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund wine glass?
Ooh.
Mm.
That seems like you're celebrating the death of somebody. That just seems awkward. Instead of commiserating your
Celebrating
tears
the
with,
life
with
that they had.
No, you're celebrating. You're
They're
celebrating the
gone.
life
They're gone.
the widows and orphans are able to have.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want one of them with like this. I want one of the ones like that fits half a bottle of wine.
Oh, I want to plug another show. I want to plug the number 5 podcast for this year, Podcast Addicts. Pop Culture Addicts. Why do I always get the title wrong?
Everybody gets the title wrong.
Congratulations, guys. Number 5.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
It's all right.
So-
Not like number 3 or anything.
Yeah.
The guy named Jason. He's the number 3 guy. So
He's always just right ahead of us, Tim. We got to fix
well, no, not on every list. So not on every list. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in Friday morning so you can get that podcast and wherever you get your podcast from, whether it's Google, Apple, Spotify, whatever, you'll be able to find that interview with Larry Cedar. You can find the interview with Amber Hollinger out right now, and you can watch both of those on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, like Josh said, it's a big help. Make sure that you do it. But that's it.
All right, guys, that's our show.
We all
Thanks for being here
survived.
tonight. We made it.
We did it.
Some way, somehow.
And then Dora the Explorer comes out and goes, "Yeah, we did it. We did
Go
it."
back to watching Henry Danger. Oh boy.
Go watch Camp Creation.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySciFi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.